how I managed to get like 10,000 rubies in a free-to-play way. This account has $0 spent. We are going to have two parts of this video. The first one is gonna be exchange market and how to get rubies in a free-to-play way. This is also going to apply to the paying players, no problem. And the second part of the video is I'm gonna show you how the auto firing speed on weapons such as, for example, Scout, Recon Scout, is going to affect the weapon. But yeah, this is a spoiler for the second part of this video. So first of all, let's go into the exchange market. Let's start from the beginning. Whenever you are leveling up, you are gonna be having pretty much like 0 of these rubies, and there is going to be no way for you to get it from like I don't know, some kind of events or something like that. Do not hope that this is going to be given to you at any moment. So that is something that first of all we need to address, is how to get at least some kind of a like starting amount of the rubies. Well, as you're leveling up, do not think too much about it, but you're basically gonna get items that are listable or marketable, such as, for example, this one. There is going to be this icon for the exchange market. You are most likely gonna be getting these rare items that you can list to the market. You can list it for 13, 12, 11, 10, like doesn't really matter. The whole point is, if you get lucky to get any kind of item, you know, try to sell it to get at least like 100 rubies or so, and then you can work with it. So yeah, basically that is the first step, is you just need to get lucky, and you will get lucky with finding these items, like not necessarily the most expensive items, but you're gonna find quite some of these let's say garbage tier weapons that you can see that you can still sell on the market for at least 10 rubies. I'm gonna talk about prices later on, but to just give you idea. But okay, let's say that you got like 100 rubies in some kind of way. Well, what you can do is you can just start flipping this market. Basically, you're gonna be spending a lot of time right here. Most likely, whenever you are lazy to play the game, you can just chill right here and search for the either rare tier or SR even. If you have 100 rubies, you see that you can buy some of these guns. They are usually, you know, listed for around 80 to 90 rubies. And what you want to do is you want to relist it. You want to relist it for at least 10% higher. Why? Because whenever we are selling items on the market, there is going to be a tax amount that is 5%. So whenever we are selling, there is going to be the 5% of the amount that you are selling for. Like, for example, right here I'm selling the gun for 14 and I'm getting only 1 rubies being deducted, because that is close to 5%. So you can see that some of the rubies are getting deleted. So let's say that you bought, I don't even know, like these pants for 80 rubies. In order to make profit, I would say list it for at least 88, because that is 10% on top. And whenever you list it for 88 and you sell it, you're gonna get deducted by 5 or 6 rubies. That is still 4 rubies profit. Yes, that is a very slow and very tedious process, but this is something that as a free-to-play player you definitely need to do. You need to convert these Mila coins into the rubies. So you're farming these Mila coins, and then you are just flipping the market to generate these rubies. Like, for example, right here I'm selling these same pants for 100 instead of selling it for 88. I decided, you know, let's make a bit larger profit margin. But basically these items that I am buying, they don't necessarily always exist. So you need to, you know, check the market and see where you can make some kind of a profit. Like, this is the best example. Whenever we look at SR gear, this is sought after gear. Everyone wants to have SR because it's much easier to upgrade this gear than to upgrade the SSR. So, you know, SR gear is still gonna be very popular here. Anyway, what we want to do is we want to check if we can spot some kind of a price difference. Like with the hats, I noticed that they are very expensive right now. They are chilling at 250 rubies SR gear piece. But if we go over to the pants, for instance, they're gonna be much cheaper. Like we have a lot of items that are sitting around 100 rubies, which is their true price. Again, I'm gonna talk about these prices later on. but this is gonna be probably the best example. We have here a garbage tier pants. However, in this case, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna buy it, and the reason why I'm buying this particular pants is, okay, this is a pro tip. And just look at these pants. Look at these pants. There is going to be a lot of guys that are gonna be seeking to wear these kind of pants. They are considered to be special pants. Okay, let's say it like that. Anyway, I'm gonna release this for 150. I know for a fact this is gonna sell because, like I said, this is a very popular piece of a gear. It might take 3 days, it might take 9 days, but eventually this is gonna sell and this is going to be profit. I do not care personally about the Mila coins. I'm gonna be releasing this multiple times. The whole point is to generate rubies in some way. Remember, as a free-to-play player, you are not paying. That is not the option at all inside of a game. Okay. And even if you are a paying player, why not get some of these rubies in a free way, let's say. Anyway, let's move on. So this is what I do. I just go through all of these items and I try to spot something that is going to be interesting. These prices right here are gonna be the lowest that are listed. Then I'm just gonna go into here and okay, this is my lowest 100 rubies. But I'm just gonna sit right here and I'm gonna maybe even go through these items to spot like some items that are having a good stats. If they are having good stats, they might be very expensive, and people are usually misjudging or misestimating these prices. So it's basically a game of trying to spot the gold within the garbage tier items. It's going to take quite some time to understand what are the prices and what is going to sell and what is not going to sell. I mean, for me, I have here, I'm gonna show you, I have here a lot of SSR gear pieces, like 1, 2, 3, I have here 4, that are just not selling. I mean, I'm holding on to them for maybe even like, this is a second week that I hold on to this one in particular. Tactical plate t-shirt. It's not gonna sell for whatever reason. It's not gonna sell, but guess what, I'm just gonna be relisting it and eventually it's gonna get sold. So some of these investments are going to be trapped for quite some time. Maybe even on some attempts you're gonna lose money or rubies, but on majority of these listings you should make a profit. I'm gonna show you like one crazy profit that I had recently, and this is why I can showcase 10,000 rubies. I think that you saw that, but I want to show you the purchase first. So where did I buy this AK? Man, I'm blind. So okay, 2 days ago I bought one AK on +0 that is 4,300. When it comes down to stats were pretty random. Maybe you saw this in the previous video. So 4,300. Then what I did is I used 2 boxes to upgrade it to +2, and I just released it on the market for 9,000. Let's look at this, 8,550 for the investment of 4,300. And if we are going to we should calculate the boxes as well. I used 2 boxes, that is 1,600. That means that the total price right here is 6,100. And how many I got? I got 8,550. So this is a insane profit of 2,450 if I calculated that correctly. And if we really want to be like precise, on average to get +2 SSR you should use like 3 boxes. That is on average. So we could even calculate like 3 boxes right here. That would give me still a profit of like 1,650 or something like that. The bottom line is these massive sales, they are going to happen. Like for example, what is the reason? Why did I decide to list it for 9,000? I don't know, like I just felt like 9,000 is the correct price for this one, because if we take a look over here at the AKs, right now they are sitting very high, but what happens here is somebody is flipping the market as well, so they are pushing prices up. Only yesterday we had a lot of AKs that were listed for like 4,000 to 5,000 rubies, okay? So you need to think of it as if it is yesterday's market. So a lot of AKs were just +0, and I thought like, hey, mine is only is only one that is +2, so I'm gonna, you know, push a price on it compared to this +3, because some people don't really take a look at these stats, and you know, they're just looking at the rubies, and you never know who is going to buy it, who is going to to say that such price is a smart price to pay. Either way, these prices for the AK, for example, they are inflated right now, so nobody's gonna be buying this. I mean, you can even see right here what is the last transaction price. However, we cannot see what kind of a specific AK got sold, because not every AK is the same depending on what kind of stats you're getting. Okay, so I talked about a lot of different things right here, and I just wanna like give you like a couple of the examples what I did. So let's start from this purchase. Let's say Revenge Wielded Mask. I bought it for 1.2 thousand. Again, what is my minimum price that I'm gonna list it for? 1,320. That is the minimum price that I'm gonna list it for. And guess what? I don't think that I sold that helmet yet. I don't think that I did. Yeah, I think that I still have it right here listed. So this is the one. I am listing it pretty, you know, close to the minimum price of 1.35 thousand. Is it gonna sell? Is it not gonna sell? Who knows? But like, not every item is gonna be sold rather easily. This one in particular has a headshot damage and assault rifle damage, so I thought, you know, stats are good, people are gonna want it. So you know, this is why I'm just, you know, relisting it for a lower price. I do not really want to sit here for like half a month, you know, to make like one flip. So you know, it's completely fine to just, you know, speed up and, you know, offer these lower prices, but still respect that, let's say, 10% rule, so that you are still going to make some kind of a profit. And basically with these small sales, small flips, I don't really know if I have a good example right here. Let me find a small flip. So I purchased this believing MG 240 for 10 rubies. I don't think that, yes, I sold it. I sold it for 50. I got 47. That is how many? That is 37 rubies profit. So this is a perfect example for a small sale, how you can snipe these good offers and just, you know, release it for a bit higher. With MGs, it doesn't matter what kind of a MG it is. Somebody decided to list it for 10 and I was like, nope, that is going to be mine. I'm gonna, you know, make the profit because, you know, somebody messed up, right? So you really need to know what the prices of these weapons are. I mean, rare MG is still worth a lot of rubies. Like, this is the cheapest one right now, 76. Okay, so that is the whole logic. I'm gonna go real quick over all of the items and just give you the prices, like, more or less. Before we go any further to the specific items, it's important to note here that we have two types of items. We have trash tier items and then we have the good items. Trash tier is going to be items that have random stats to them, as well as, you know, certain weapons are going to be trash, doesn't matter what kind of stats they have. These weapons are used for a disenchant purpose in order to get, for example, SSR box whenever disenchanting, right? So we are going to see right here, we are going to be taking a look at what is the minimum price, and we are gonna whenever we are looking at SSR pieces, this is going to be the equivalent to SSR upgrade box. Why? Whenever you disenchant SSR weapon, you are guaranteed SSR box. So this is what people are doing. People are buying these items for the SSR boxes. Like, if we take a look at the shotguns right here, the cheapest shotgun is going to be 888. If we take a look at the automatic weapons, it's going to be 870. If you need a SSR upgrade box, which item you're gonna buy? Well, of course you're gonna buy the cheapest one that is out there, and then you're gonna disenchant it. So right here we can see that from the ARs, nope, they are not the cheapest. Snipers, when it comes down to the snipers, for example, again, they are not the cheapest. So in our example currently, the cheapest price for the SSR is gonna be sitting here at G17, 870 rubies. Let's check the bladed weapon real quick. 850, I see right here. Okay, So just by taking a look at the market real quick, you can have the understanding of what is the lowest price for example, SSR weapons that are used for a disenchant purpose. Uh, usually this price is sitting over around like 800 rubies. Sometimes it's 750, the other times is 800, the other times is, like for example right now it's 850. It really depends on the people that are actually buying these weapons for the sake of upgrading their main weapons. This is why, you know, it matters. Anyway, I see right here that this hammer is being sold for 800. I could buy it and I couldn't really make profit. Well, I could make a slight profit, but I'm not gonna do this. This is not going to be the best way to, you know, to to flip, and that is to invest 800 and you know, release it for 850. And let's do the math. uh, what would the profit right here be? So if you sell it for 800, let's say 49, you sell it for 849, you're gonna get only 95% back, which is you're gonna be making like 6 or 7 rubies on this kind of a flip. And in my opinion, this is, at this point, it's not worth it. Okay, so you're gonna be passing on this kind of like a small opportunities, right? But sometimes it can happen that people just, you know, list a, I don't know, like random item for 700 rubies. In that case, if you can push the price from 700 to 850, of course, you know, I'm gonna take that as advantage. So, you know, this is the story about trash tier weapons. They are usually around 800 rubies, depends on the time. When it comes down to the gear pieces right here, from the armor, they usually sit around 1200 right here, or they are 1300. And sometimes they can even get a little bit more expensive. They can even push like 1400, 1500, that bottom price. But you know, this is why you check the market for yourself. Anyway, right here, this one is not really the trash tier. I mean, people could use it for themselves. You have the headshot damage, low roll, you have the submachine gun that is mid roll. So, you know, like this helmet, for example, could even be used or sought after. So, you know, that is going to be one opportunity for me to, for example, purchase that helmet and just try to release it for, like, let's say 1350. But I'm not gonna do that. Why? Because I have a very bad experience with trying to flip these gear pieces. For whatever reason, when it comes down to the gear pieces, flipping gear pieces like that is nope. Only if a gear piece is going to have some ridiculous stats. And if the gear piece is cheap, this is when I'm gonna jump in, I'm gonna purchase it, and, you know, try to make a flip. Like for example right here, I would say that this is quite, you know, nice backpack. I mean, you're having the attack power for subs, you're having a defense, you're having stamina, natural recovery. You know, this is kind of a good, like, not the best, but also the price is not bad. I mean, it's only 1.3 thousand, but you can see that nobody's buying this. Like, this is on the market for 2.5 days and nobody bought it. So this is why I am reluctant whenever it comes down to the flipping gear pieces. People just do not really want gear pieces as much as they want weapons, for example, you know, the AK. So okay, let's go into the good weapons, the actually good weapons. When it comes down to the pistols, all pistols are garbage, do not think about it. When it comes down to the shotguns, there is only one good weapon, that is Alpha 12. It has a lot of DPS, and Alpha 12 is going to be useful for also residents to use, because residents can utilize Alpha 12 to dish out a lot of damage, even more than if they were to be using AK or machine gun. It's just how the weapons or residents are designed. But for the players, even players can do more damage. And oh, by the way, I even bought today, I bought a Alpha 12, and this is gonna be for myself. I'm gonna try to push it to the level +3, and then I'm gonna compare the DPS of SPR versus Alpha 12 over at the construction site, because I have a funny feeling that Alpha 12 is gonna be ridiculously powerful at the construction site boss. For the Dusk Garden, we cannot use shotguns over there, so for the Dusk Garden it's gonna be SPR, king of all weapons. But for construction site, this is where I think that Alpha 12 is going to be very useful. Anyway, from all of the shotguns, people are really going to want Alpha 12 only. Even this CS23 is a complete garbanzo, even though it is having the most attack power out of all of the shotguns. But you know, shooting speed and reload speed on this thingy is such a garbage. You could use a CS23 to clear zombies, like to farm the maps, because it's very efficient in terms of ammo, but nobody really cares about that. And this is why nobody is buying it. I mean, you can see a lot of like these listings, they are sitting for a very long time here, and there is a lot of these shotguns. So this is why I'm not even gonna look at a certain weapons to try and flip them, okay? With the Alpha 12, I have enough of the rubies to just purchase these two and try to push the price to the 5,000 rubies, but in my opinion, it would be such a risky play because I don't really see anyone, you know, buying the Alpha 12 for 5,000. Well, if it's the only price, you know, if we create a monopoly right here with other players that are also, you know, pushing the price, I mean, you can see that these guys are pushing this price very, very high. If we create a monopoly, yes, we can push these prices up high, and it's going to take a lot of time to sell certain item. That means that all these rubies are going to be trapped in a item. I don't really want to, you know, do that. If somebody else is going to try to be a bit more opportunistic right here and to, you know, to be aggressive, like purchase this boat and then release it for 5,000, you know, you do you. If that is your strategy, yes, it can work, but it's not something that I like to do myself. Anyway, when it comes down to assault rifles, believe it or not, people are buying everything right here. So all of these weapons are getting sold. I sold many M4s, as far as this XR15s, even in some cases the M16 is being bought for whatever reason. I don't really know why. But as you can see, there is also not a whole lot of listings right here. This one is not getting sold for 2.5 days. Yeah, bad stats, so nobody's really gonna want to buy it. But what I think is that M4 is gonna be a very good weapon for the sake of a PvP. Now these prices are completely, these are not real prices, I can tell you. The price of the M4 should be around 1,000, slightly more than 1,000. So yeah, basically like all of these weapons should be more than 1,000 because again, still players are using it. And of course, with the AK, I think that fair price is gonna be like 5,000 rubies, but also you can snipe it for like 4,000 rubies. So there is no need to, you know, purchase at this high price unless stats are good. SPR12, well, this is kind of a low price for the SPR12, if I'm gonna be completely honest, because this is the best weapon for the Dusk Garden to do the most damage over there. Most likely they're having a, yeah, completely random stats. So for example, right here, can I make profit on any of those? I mean, I can tell you straight up, nope. The reason why is we have a lot of SPR12s listed over at the market. Oh, I'm gonna talk about auto firing speed in the second part of the video, so you know, that is going to be interesting. But okay, in this example I do not see a space for the profit here with SPRs. With the Recon Scouts it's only 4,000. You know what, I might even buy it. So what I'm gonna do right here, because this Recon Scout is listed for 4,000, I'm gonna purchase it and relist it for let's say 4.6 thousand or something like that. Look at this, last transaction price 10 rubies. Wow, somebody got a massive profit right here. I don't know why people, well, I know why. People are most likely buying these weapons for real money, and yeah, that is what is happening most likely. But okay, that is a little bit of a sad thing. Like, developers really need to take a look at these transactions and punish these people, in my opinion. Because you know that can take a lot of money from the developers, and yes, developers still need to get money because you know everyone who is working should be paid, right? And we want to have a successful game. No, no, you do not agree? Okay. Anyway, what am I gonna do here? I'm thinking of buying this for 4,000 and then trying to sell it for like 4.8 thousand. The stats here are complete garbage, but if we take, oh man, Oh man, this could be a good one. This could be a good one. After I post this video, yikes, after I post this video, I think that people are gonna want this kind of a stat. Oh man. Oh, what to do? What to do? Now I'm thinking myself to just buy these two Recon Scouts. Anyway, let's forget about it. Submachine guns, they are nothing special. Like Tommy is, in my opinion, the best submachine gun, but on the market, for whatever reason, people value AMP-45 more. I still didn't figure out why that is the case, but I did a test of the submachine guns compared to the AK, so I know for a fact that that a Tommy gun can or is doing the same DPS as AK, so you can comfortably play with it, and you're also having less recoil, so you're gonna be hitting more shots with the Tommy. You just need to be a little bit closer to the enemies. So you know, when it comes down to the Tommy, I would even buy this. I would try to flip these Tommies to push the price up high, but there is a lot of listings for one man to do anything. Even with a 10,000 rubies, you know, that wouldn't go all that well. If we take a look right here, I mean, like 2,000 for the AMP-45 is already too high. This price should be like 1,000 at best. So you know, I'm not messing with these questionable purchases. But we are here at a good. Okay, I'm gonna show you that later. Let's see the SSR first. This is a good spot to, you know, snipe the good MGs, because MGs are very popular. People just love this weapon for whatever reason. And you could even find here, if you see a machine gun that is having like headshot damage 8.5 but it's listed for low price, you can try to flip it for even like 7,000, push the price on it, because there is not a whole lot of these on the market. As you can see, the guy is selling 8.5 headshot for the 6,000. So you know, people tend to even list it right here down below, and this is how you snipe a good weapons, and then you are relisting it for 1,000 or 2,000 rubies more. At that point you are just, you know, increasing the price, initial price, by 50%. I mean, that is insane profit margin if you can sell it. And yes, that can happen. And if it fails to sell, guess what? List it for that minimum rule of plus 10% to the initial investment. Anyway, right here I see one that is going to sell. I'm just gonna buy it like straight up. I'm not even gonna think about it. 380 for the MG 240 is such a low price. I'm gonna release it for 450. As you can see, these are all garbage tiers, so I'm just gonna make a little bit of money. The problem right now is I do not have a space where I can list this, so I'm just gonna remove this one, and then I can list the machine gun that I bought for 450, and I can tell you 100% this is gonna sell. People just love the machine guns. I don't really know what is happening with the machine guns, but okay. And okay, so we are now effectively starting with the SR, all the talk about the SR pieces. So this is actually the field where I like to play a whole lot, not the SSR but SR. Why? Because there is going to be much more of the guys that are purchasing SRs. So let's go back to the pistols. Again, pistols are garbage tier. We know that usually the price for a garbage tier weapons or stats is gonna be 80 to 100 rubies, depends. You can even play with these garbage tiers if you spot a good opportunity. Like for example, this is listed for 50. Nope, we already saw that that was not the case. But yeah, it appears that no, these are pens. What am I doing? It appears that the garbage tier SR is gonna be still sitting at a 90 to 100 rubies. Yeah, 90. Okay, so what that means is there is currently no options for us to do any kind of a flip on a garbage tier. So again, pistols, doesn't matter what kind of stats, they're garbage. From the shotguns, the only one that is good is Alpha 12. This CS23 is for no reason sitting this high, but okay, let's look at the Alpha 12 here. first of all, there is no easy option right here, so we will need to just go through all of these weapons and search for the stats that are going to say headshot damage. But yeah, people just do not really like this stat, weapon attack power. Okay, there is not a single one that has headshot damage, but yeah, this is what I check. I mean, not always there is going to be a item that has good stats that you can just make easy money, but this is something that you need to do. Like, I do this like 2-3 times a day, 4 times a day, sometimes even more, depends on how I feel from day to day. Anyway, Recon Scouts. Okay, with the Recon Scouts, I do not really have a lot of experience right here. I never tried to flip this myself, but I'm gonna talk about specifically Recon Scouts later on, so you could even use that kind of information for the future decisions in trading. Anyway, when it comes down to the rare pieces, people are still gonna buy rare pieces. People are not gonna buy normal pieces, like, not anymore. And also, honestly, there is no reason for us to even use the normal pieces, because it's much easier to upgrade rare piece to, let's say, +5 than normal to +6. So that is the logic why people just go and play with rare and SRs. With the rare guns and gear, we can farm the upgrade boxes pretty much like in an unlimited way. And with the SRs, we're still gonna get upgrade boxes from the bosses, so this is why we're just bouncing between these two categories. There is no need to go to the normal tier anymore, and there is no need to go to the SSR, because this is kind of like a premium tier. Like, you really need to have a lot of rubies to just purchase like a lot of guns that you can disenchant for the sake of upgrade boxes. So this is why SSR, I don't really think that these prices are gonna stay this high for a very long time. Anyway, with the rare, I just want to give you, like, you just need to look at the confident gear. At this point, we are only having one stat, and because we are having one stat, everyone just wants to get this headshot damage, because that is the most valuable one. So what can I tell you? Just look for the confident ones that are listed right here in this price range. When it comes down to the AKs, MGs, SPR, Tommy gun, these kind of weapons, they are all gonna be valuable if they are confident. So you can grab a couple of those from the market every now and then, like, who knows. I think that we already checked the MGs, rare ones. Yep, there is nothing special. You can also check like the shotguns. Alpha 12 that is confident is going to sell for quite some money. Like, for example, right here, this is a mid-roll, so 5-6. It's not all that bad, but you can see that people are pushing these like max roll on headshot damage for 1.8 thousand. So yeah, they are going to be quite valuable. You know what, I'm just gonna buy this one because this is a pretty much like a max roll. Maybe it can be 2.5, but yeah, I'm gonna buy this one. Like, this is the example. I saw a good stat, that is high roll. I can, try to release it for, I don't even know, like 100. Like I said, for 100 rubies, if it sells, it sells. If not, I'm gonna release it for 50, and people are eventually gonna buy it because they're gonna see, oh wow, it's a weapon attack power that has pretty much like close to max stat. Now, of course, I cannot really confirm this, but I think that headshot damage is still gonna be better than the weapon attack power, straight up. I just want to go over the gear real quick. Helmets can have the stat that is called headshot damage, as you can see, and I am 99% sure that other three pieces cannot have headshot damage. So when it comes down to the hats, I like to check these hats and see if some of them are having a high headshot damage, which would also be a easy sale. I'm just thinking, like, what would people want? What I want is what people want in general, right? So for example, right here with 8.5 headshot damage, the price of the gear is gonna be 2.4 thousand. So if you happen to have, like, okay, let's say that somebody has this kind of a gear piece and that doesn't really know that this is the price for it. they might just sell it for 1.5 thousand. I'm gonna buy it, I'm gonna release it for 2,000 to make a quick sale and profit. So that is the whole logic. Also, you could play with these materials. I don't do it myself, but for example, what I'm gonna start doing, if I can, I'm gonna start buying titaniums whenever they hit, like, I don't know, like 1000 rubies per. Same with a nanofiber. If that is going to happen, I don't really know that is going to happen. I think that the price of titanium and nanofiber is just gonna go up from this point, but you know, we will see. Still, you know, it's risky, so I do not mess with something that I am not sure in. If you have any questions about all of this, ask me and I'm gonna answer this in the comments. I hope that I just, you know, explained you my logic about it. So you need to sit here over at the market and just take a look at prices and just absorb the prices so that you know what you're working with. Because also prices are going to change all the time. There is no way for me to just, you know, give you a like notes to follow. Instead, you know, you need to apply the same logic, and you need to be a little bit crazy to do this kind of stuff, because sometimes you're only gonna be getting like a couple of rubies of profit, but over the time that is going to add up. And whenever you start with 100 rubies, at first you're gonna be able to just list like a couple of items, but after a while you're gonna be listing 30 out of 30 items, and you're gonna have quite some, you know, valuable gear pieces. But yeah, and sometimes you're gonna get lucky and find these special items. For example, this is what I found recently. I don't really think that this is a correct price, but you know, I'm trying to push the price on it. There is no need for me to undercut myself whenever there is no competition. But yeah, these special items like turbocharger, turbo part, this engine, this is something that I found. Oh man, where did I find this? So this is also something that I do, is I am trying to push the price of some items that appear to be good. Basically there is no logic behind it. You just take the item, instead of listing it for fair price of, let's say, 600 rubies, I just list it for a, you know, ridiculous price, 2 times 3 times the price, and people sometimes buy it just because it's expensive. I cannot really explain you, but you know, that is actually true. It works in real life, it works in games. Just because it's expensive, people tend to buy it. Some people tend to buy it. So you know, I'm not doing this all the time, but I'm, you know, testing it out, especially whenever I have gear that is having like +2, +3, +4, +5. You know, these gear pieces are very random, and there is no real way for people to compare prices over there. The only way to calculate the price is if you take the base and then add the amount of a boxes that is necessary to push it to that level. But it needs to be a theoretical amount of boxes. Okay, I cannot show you, but I can tell you what kind of a submachine gun this is. It has headshot damage 8.5, it has auto firing speed of, I think, 4.4 or 5.9. Basically two good stats. I got it for 100 or so rubies, and I'm trying to push the price on it to sell it for, you know, 4x, 5x. Again, that can happen sometimes, but majority of these listings are going to have like +20% compared to the invested amount, and if that is not gonna sell, list it for +10 and just keep on relisting it until it gets sold. For example, with these firefighter helmets, I bought it a long time ago for 100 rubies each, and I tried to sell it for 250 per, because for whatever reason people just, you know, like these helmets. I don't really know why the prices on certain gear are more expensive than the other, but guess what, I was holding on to these two helmets for like 10 days, and then I was like, nope, let's just, you know, sell it for a 50% profit each, or 42% profit each. So actually, let's check this kind of a top, not top, hat. So yeah, you can see that people are keeping the price like around 250. I don't really know why they are doing that. I mean, right now in general, all of these helmets are very expensive. There is not a single one that is cheap. Anyway, once you get to the point where you have like 5-6,000 of these rubies, you can even work with SSR pieces if that is your thing. Like I said, I sold many of these M4s, S4s, HRs, not HRs, XRs. Basically, whenever people list these for like the minimum price of a garbage tier weapon, which is right now it's 850, right? I would buy this and I would release it for 1,000, and that would get sold. So once you have a couple of thousand of the rubies, you can even work with the SSR if you want. But I don't really have a whole lot of success over here. Or should I say, it's usually the sales come in very slow, because not a whole lot of people are having, you know, thousands of rubies to spend on a Recon Scout. And why would you even spend this much of the rubies whenever you have the cheap? Look at this, look at the price difference. 350, just pay 350. You can upgrade this one to the +3 easily. You can even push it to +4, +5 eventually, right? That would +5 SR Recon Scout is going to be equivalent to +3 SSR. And for +3 Recon Scout, if you're lucky, you need 3 boxes. If you're not lucky, you need 5, 6, 10, 15. Oh man, should I show you that whenever I failed 10 times in a row trying to push item from +2 to +3? Should I show you that right now? I don't know. Anyway, okay, I'm done yapping about exchange market. If something is not what do you call it? If something is not clear, ask me a question. I'm gonna respond it to you. But yeah, I wanna show you this test that I did with the Recon Scouts, which are, by the way, a single mode firing weapons. And these Recon Scouts, they have a attack speed as a stat. I'm gonna show you all of these weapons. So I was using a Recon Scout that has no attack speed to it, okay? Then I was using a Recon Scout that has 1.4, 2.9% auto firing speed, and a Recon Scout that has 7.4 auto firing speed. And I tested all of these, plus I tested the SR700 without any auto firing speed, just to see what is the difference between these two weapons. SR700 is something extra, okay? So let's go into results straight up. The Scout with 7.4 speed has, so this is a test for 4 shots. Let's run this just so that you get the idea what I did. And okay, so these are the 4 shots. Each clip right here is going to take 4 shots, even with SR700. Let me show you the Scout with a 0% speed, auto firing speed. Basically, it doesn't have that kind of a stat. And one thing to note right here, for all these firings, I was using a auto clicker button, which is going to make Recon Scout fire as soon as it is available to fire. So there is no human error to it. So as you can see right here, boom, boom. How many frames? Only a couple of frames it stays lit up, which is pretty much like instant firing. So the results are, first of all, Scout with +0 is going to take 6 seconds 52 frames to fire 4 shots. Scout with 1.4 is having a lot of frames saved, and by the way, this is recorded in 60 frames per second. That means that 30 frames per second is going to be half a second that you are saving So you know, keep that in mind. So this is close to 6.5. Anyway, this is a massive difference just by having this one stat, and as you can see, the stat in question is the lowest roll for the auto firing speed of 1.4%. Whenever I got a 2.9% auto firing, I was only able to shave off a 2 frames. Now, why is this happening? I'm pretty sure it has to do with the a little bit of a lag, or just the fact that auto clicker is not synced with the game. You know, this is the reason why. But this is, you know, showing us clearly that there is going to be a benefit to us using a auto firing speed on a sniper, and I'm gonna talk about the realistic benefit later on. But first, look at this. So if you are having a Recon Scout that has 7.4 auto firing speed, and I'm not really sure if this is a max roll for SRs or SSRs even, but this is going to be a difference of close to 1 second. Yeah, close to 1 second. Not really 1 second, but you know, 40 frames, that's gonna be 0.66 seconds, and we can actually see what is the actual time that we are saving here. So 6.22 divided by 6.87. That means that we are shaving off close to 10%. Okay? So 10% more or less with 7.4 firing speed, auto firing speed, you are shooting by, or you need by 10% less time to fire all these shots, if that makes sense. Which is significant for a Recon Scout, because we are usually using a Recon Scout over at a PvP, and how many times did you, you know, fire with a Recon Scout and then you wished that you could fire just tiny touch bit faster, because let's say you knocked down a guy and you wanna shoot at him while he's still knocked down. So you know, this is why the auto firing speed, I think, is going to work good with the Recon Scout. We are not necessarily interested in headshot damage, because if you land a headshot, you're most likely gonna kill him in one shot. You're gonna do overkill damage as well. So why would you, you know, boost a headshot damage over there? When it comes down to the weapon attack power, that could be, you know, significant. Just straight up weapon attack power, in case that you're shooting at the body, you're gonna be doing more damage. But you know, at the same time, like, who cares about 2% more damage whenever you can have 10% less firing time needed? So this auto firing, what do you call it? This auto firing test right here showed me that auto firing speed as a stat is working for semi-automatic weapons. I just wanna put a note right here wherever you see this such a small difference. 2.9 Scout with 2.9 is having 36 frames needed, this one is 38. That is such a small difference between the two. A note is gonna say that you know, this could be due to lag, right? I also redid this test for the second time, and I got the same results right here with the second test. Okay, but the main one is whenever you compare the Scout that doesn't have auto firing speed to the Scout that has, this is not max I think, but it's a high auto firing speed as a stat. You are saving a lot of the time, 10%. So, and also I just tested the SR700 with no auto firing speed to it. I wanted to compare it to the Recon Scout, and guess what? SR700 is slower than the Recon Scout, which makes no sense. With SR700 you are doing less damage per shot. You are shooting slower. You are having less of a magazine capacity, you're having more of a reload time. So it just doesn't make sense to use SR700 in any kind of a scenario. I don't really know why this weapon exists, but yeah, I just wanted to, you know, to check, because I thought that, hey, SR700 could be faster weapon, but nope, it's actually slower. It's slower weapon than the Scout. So this is something that I wanted to show you. I'm actually gonna keep this. This is a SR Scout. Let's go into the game. So this is the scout that I bought for like 350 rubies or something like that. I'm gonna keep it for time being. I'm gonna you know, try to make it work, because I can also feel whenever I'm shooting, I can feel that kind of a 10% increase in or decrease in the time between shots. And I can feel that because I am not used to this. I am used to having a much slower Recon Scout. Where is it? The one with the 0. Okay, so this is going to be the one with the 0 auto firing speed. This is what I'm used to. This is the fire rate that I'm used to. So with this 10% less of a time needed between the shots, we're just gonna have straight up better chances in a PvP. Because in a PvP, like I said, if you shoot someone in the body, you are most likely gonna knock him down, and then you wanna shoot him again while he's on the ground. So I don't know, I'm gonna test it and, you know, see if this is working or not. Also, if you happen to miss a shot, you're gonna technically reload faster than the opponent, and just, you know, having that extra shot in. But yeah, still, if you prefer to play with a headshot damage, you know, go with it. I'm not here trying to say that auto firing speed is better than a headshot damage. Okay, if you prefer headshot damage, go for it. But good luck finding a cheap Recon Scout with a headshot damage. But okay, this is a alternative that is actually making a whole lot of sense to me, at least. Anyway, I'm gonna stop the video right here. So for today, you know, we had a little bit of a lot of talking, and in the next video I'm gonna do like some kind of action. What action? I have no clue, but, you know, we're not gonna do a lot of talking, or just, you know, talking about the game. Anyway, I need to... oh my... I need to get rid of all of these Recon Scouts that I do not really want. So real quick, what people want is headshot damage as the #1 priority. This is for the weapons, for the head as well. Headshot damage, #1 priority. For other pieces, they tend to value the attack power of assault rifles the most. Then we are going to have machine guns, snipers, and submachine guns. So, you know, this is going to be the dominant stat for the jacket, pants, and what do you call it, a bag. However, I would like to argue that a dominant stat for the bag should be sprint speed, and for the pants it should be running speed at a high roll. Of course, this is all low roll. Why? Because I feel that, you know, mobility is just going to play a massive difference, you know, for the rootland, for the boss fights, for anything. I feel like this is someday people are gonna change their mind and just value like 5% of running speed at the pants, or like 3% of sprint speed at the bag. When it comes down to the jacket, I don't think that you can get running speed or sprint speed, but right here, you know, go for the attack power, or defense, or knockdown resistance, or, you know, whatever else you can find. But yeah, heads are gonna be headshot damage. And yep, that is in short like what is like one best stat, the dominant stat. All other stats are going to be secondary, inferior, and they do not really matter a whole lot. Of course, if I had a headshot damage 17%, and then auto firing speed at 7%, and then weapon attack power at 3%, you know, like, of course I would want to have that as well, but the majority of the usefulness is going to come from the headshot damage at a max roll, and then you can have random stats as a secondary, doesn't matter. That is the whole logic. Just one good stat at the max roll is going to give you a lot of money. Anyway, I'm gonna stop the video right here, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Take care, bye bye, peace up.